Hello, everybody. 3 o'clock on Wednesday. We are going to talk some leather. Step away from a minute. Let's have some fun with this. Ryan, right up front, you made my day. These are a bit stressful. I'm prepping for these. Can I answer the questions? Do I have good information for you? You know what? A comment like that, Ryan, it just absolutely makes my day. And Jan, I hope it's good. I hope this is fun. So, got a word from the boss. We are on. We've got video. We've got audio. So, I think we have some good stuff to talk about today. From last week, I've been through all 20 pages of comments, and yeah, I read everyone, and I'll do my best to comment on all of those. On the homework side, you're going to be a little disappointed, but we'll get around to that. Christopher, thanks for helping out. That's you. Oh, that's huge. Helping each other out. I'll moderate, and I'm happy to do that because we all have good information. Spread that out. I'll pitch in what I can, but yeah, all of us can learn from everybody else's experience and mistakes. So yeah, very cool, everybody. Let's see, Christopher again. Yeah, thank you so much. Deborah Rooney, very cool. Thunderous Night, got a comment for you here coming up, man. Um, Very cool, y'all. I hope it's been a good week thus far. Hump day, so we're over the hump. We're on our way towards the weekend, and man, I tell you what, that's it's a little bright spot of hope in our week. But I hope everybody's doing good. So let's talk a little leather, maybe laugh a little bit, and get some information going back and forth. So, okay, I hope everybody had a good Father's Day, whether you were giving or receiving. I hope it was a good Father's Day. Hope you gave out some cool gifts or got some cool gifts. Um, all right, Thunderous Night. Let's go here. Chuck, sorry, this is a bit of a personal question. No problem, man. But the internet says you were 92. Sometimes I feel like I'm 92. Um, no, I'm 57. Yeah, 57. Yeah, there was an actor out there named Charles Dorsett. And I looked at his profile, I don't know, years and years ago. But yeah, 57, don't hesitate to ask. I appreciate it. That's very cool. Vicky, well, thank you for saying so. Means more. It really does mean more than you know. Um, let's see, Kinez Ray, oh, Frisco, Texas, very cool. Got some shout outs here for Texas. Natasha Kohai, thank you very much. So glad so glad you're with us. That is cool. Um, let's see, DJ Saber Armory and Dinosaur, Rubber Dinosaur. We'll get to this. We got a question on bone glue. I'm going to disappoint you this week, but I am on it. But I got a question back for you. Also, leftover beans. Very cool. Hey, back to you there. Um, that's very cool. I'll try to keep up over here. But our marketing folks, my boss and Miriam, they'll print these out for me. And I'm sorry I can't keep up with these. That makes me crazy because I want to say hello to everybody. And this is just, it's not optimum. Getting to meet y'all in person, that would be the coolest thing. If we could all get together at a big food, we're talking food again, but we could talk leather while we eat. That would be the coolest thing. But we do have a show coming up. Not sure everybody can make it, but I'll be there. We'll have a good booth, and I'll get into that here very shortly. Anton from the city of Ziva, Russia, 14,000 kilometers away. Man, I wish that were closer. I really do. Um, let's see. The Johnsburg, Buck and Billy Ray sent me here. Blessings from Norway. Blessings right back to you. Bless you. Isaac, I'm up. I'm kind of on the way to South Carolina from Atlanta, maybe a little bit about halfway between Gainesville, Commerce, kind of somewhere in there. But yeah, it sounds like we're close, Isaac. Very cool. Let's see. Elena Stanley, greetings from Colorado. Let's see. This is from last week. So she says, we'll be starting my new project this week. Thanks to you. Well, at this point, I hope you had a great time with it. I hope you made something beautiful and enjoyed every minute of it. And I hope you now got the bug to make more stuff because there's literally no end to the things we can make out of leather. And I'm doing some earrings for a video. Yeah, earrings, blah, blah. I'm not going to wear them. No interest. I made one. That turned into 5, which turned into 15. I couldn't stop making earrings. There were so many cool things. I know, out of left field, earrings. But yeah, the point there is there are so many things we can do with leather. unlimited possibilities. I know I say that a lot. I'll do my best not to keep repeating nice, spot on. And in fact, I just used that. I just said that in a video. I thought maybe I ought to drop that out. No, we're going to leave it. That's the way it is. And I get some comments too from folks that say, hey, my wife's getting awfully tired of hearing me say nice, spot on, professional. But yeah, sorry, ma'am, sir, sorry. But anyway, all right. So let's see. Joanna Giuliano, Houston, Texas. Grew up in East Texas. Absolutely. Lived in Spring, graduated from Klein High, graduated from Sam Houston State. Funny thing, when you leave the state of Texas and you move out, you talk to somebody else in Texas, 10 out of 10, the first thing I always say, I miss the people. That's exactly right. Texans are genuinely friendly, polite. They're good folks, good food. Yeah, we're back there. Okay. Let's see. Leather. Okay. Let me jump over to the bone glue because this one's just been on my mind. It's been making me crazy. I don't have my homework done on that yet. Well, I've been doing a lot of administrative, had 4 meetings in 3 days last week, and I've knocked out a video Monday and Tuesday. Actually, I'm editing right now, the one that's supposed to come out this Friday. Typically, I like to try to keep us 3 or 4 weeks out, just in case, but I've fallen behind. So I'm actually editing the video for this Friday. But once I get that knocked out, it's a project video, dog collar and leash. Once I get that knocked out, then I'm going to jump over to some leather elements. That'll get us back in the lead there. But one of them is explaining the cuts of leather because we actually have a question here. Yes, even for seasoned folks, this can be a little confusing, but I've got an answer there. It might surprise you a little bit. Working on cuts of leather, so leather element there. I've got a cool border, and we used it on the quiver where we use an English point and then drop some holes. It's kind of cool. So I'm going to work on that. Edge work. We get a lot of questions on edge lacing. So we're going to do a Mexican basket weave edge lace, and it's gorgeous. It's easy to do, easy to follow, but it looks really good. Also, transferring. We've got a lot of questions on transferring impressions from, say, whatever, printouts over to leather. We're going to talk about the tracing film and a light box. In fact, don't even have to buy a light box. We can make one. So I'm working on those. Blade show. So we've got Blade show is coming up in August. It's usually in early June, but because of this whole Corona thing, it's pushed it back to August. Still on. As far as we know, it's still on. But if you're by chance in the area, and I know a lot of us are not, and I hate that, but if you are the Blade show, it is one big spectacle. On first thought, you would think, Blade show, it's going to be industrial, blah, blah. No, actually, it's all the bladesmiths and all the companies that make the equipment for blade making, swords, knives, daggers, axes, all the equipment, all the handles, all the wood, bone, horn, and all the equipment. So blacksmiths can get small, inexpensive tables. And I think there are 400 of these to where they can sell the knives they've made through the year. You will see knives from $40 to $10,000 and axes and swords, and it's a spectacle. It really is. I think attendance is 65,000. Don't hold me to that, but it's at the Atlanta Galleria. This is an enormous building, and it fills the whole thing up. Again, if you're local somewhat or nearby, it is really something to see. I'll get you dates on that because thus far it's still on. Let's see. Also, working on ways to get our shot a little bit better. If you look on the YouTube on the videos, you can see the night and day difference between using my laptop cam and my Canon. So we're working on that, but also we're working on ways to get this a little more polished, because I hate not being able to do cutaway shots or something I'm talking about. I hate just holding it up in the shot. That it works, but that's about it. Y'all, I'm sorry, I'm falling behind here, rolling here, and I'm not keeping up. I'll get back over here and I'll do my best to answer most of these. Some of these, though, I'll answer next week. We'll get a printout of the comments. Nope, I'll read every comment. I promise I absolutely do. But camera insets, cutaways, share my screen. We'll get better at that. So we'll polish this a little bit, but we're working on that right now. Okay, homework. Getting over to this. I've dreaded this. Bone glue. I've not gotten anywhere on this. Like I said, I had a lot of administrative and whatnot going. But two, let me ask you. We had a couple of comments. I've done a little research on this, but for edge work, this could be really cool. Does anybody out there have a good brand and a good source? And I'll get someone immediately, work with it, and I'll have an answer for you next week. Next week, I really apologize not being able to answer your questions in a timely manner. That irritates me. But a lot of stuff came up over the last week. Good stuff. We're busy. Yay. Thank you. Thank you for the business. But yeah, I will get on to that. Also, and this is funny. I feel funny even saying this. We've had some requests for a pick, an autograph pick. Okay, so about 4 years ago, I did a pick. Okay, did these for a show, thinking, wow, somebody's going to be. Yeah, I printed out 10. I brought home 9. I still have 9. So I'm honored. I really am. I'm unworthy. I don't feel worthy. But yeah, so do this. Instagram us or message us on Facebook. Marketing will get those names to me, and I'll sign these. I'll personalize them, sign them specifically to you, and then I'll mail these out. So yeah, if you want one of those, I'm honored that you would. I feel unworthy, but thank you. Very cool. We will make that happen for you. Ben Corbeil, have been looking forward to this stream for a week. That makes me feel good. These are stressful. Takes me most of the day to prep for them, in samples and copy and getting questions pulled together, notes from the boss. Man, when that 259 hits, I'm a nervous wreck. So, comments like that, bless your heart. They mean the world to me. Thank you, everybody. Let's see, Jan, thanks for giving me the courage to start my first project to sell. Very cool, Jan. Keep us up to date on that. I want to also too, if we, I want to say, hey, send us a pic of your project, and we haven't been able to do that with the YouTube, but also on Instagram, Facebook. Send us a pic of your project. I would love to see what y'all are up to. That is cool. Very cool. So yeah, Instagram us on that. Okay, let's see. Notes from the boss. See below. Yeah, actually see below because this is going to intertwine with our tool of the week and kind of our theme of the week's punching holes. Well, it sounds kind of tedious. Well, it kind of is. But really, there's a good bit of information here for you if you're new to leather, but also for those of us who are seasoned, because punching a lot of holes, that can really work on our arm, and it can be a little fatiguing and a little frustrating. So got a good answer to that. Let's see. Oh, yeah. David Rudy, cool, Jan. Good luck. There's a good luck for you right there. Let's see. Addie Olsh. Sorry I'm late. You know what? Don't worry about it here. That's what counts. Let's see. World War II Explorer, do you have any experience with making metal stamps? I don't personally, but I've actually got 2 or 3 that somebody made themselves. Like they'll take a large bolt, cut off the head of that bolt, and then work on that. Very cool way to go. I don't have a lot of metalworking equipment or experience there, but yeah, just that little bit of information. It can be done, and it can be done very well. I've got a couple in my shop. Illusin 1864. Hello from Russia. Long way, but hello right back to you. Very cool. Very spasiba. Let's see. Daughter of the Wild. Your videos have helped me out getting back into leatherwork after several years break. You know what? Funny thing, these things don't change. We're still using the same tools, knives, leather, same terms, same dies. So you will flow right back in, and I hope you have a great time with it. Let's see, Carmen, thank you for helping us out August 7th through 9th for the Blaze Show in Atlanta. It is pretty cool. Yeah, I know. I've rolled on that one, but it is a blast. Let's see, Orla. Let's see, the link to your Instagram does not work from your About page. Okay, we'll get that figured out. Yeah, comment on things that don't work. Also, I've been trying to get us to print a retail catalog for 5 years, since day one. Yeah, they don't listen to me. Well, I mean, they do. Okay, not a lot, but they do. Shh, shh. Don't tell the boss that, she's watching, so cat's out of the bag. But yeah, also, keep emailing because we need a catalog badly. We really do. That's a huge help to us. Let's see. Okay, Orla, Twitter does so. Okay, so that's maybe a way to get through there. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Ryan Gillis, my wife, made my Father's Day card, and it was a leather themed card, and she drew you. Well, that makes me feel good. Oh, very cool. Okay, well, good. Um, Stephen Ritter just made a backpack on our list to do. You got to send us a pic of that. That's a top-notch project. But again, you know what? With Leathercraft, we don't make a little ashtray or change tray that made out of clay sits on the shelf until it disintegrates. We can make a project and we can wear it the next day. We've talked about that. Can't say enough on that one. Um, let's see. Jason Anderson, love your videos. Thank you for saying so. Very cool. Um, let's see. Okay, so Orla, let's see. So does Facebook. So I guess Facebook is working there. Um, let's see. Okay, they're coming in fast. I'm sorry, I'm getting behind. I'll come back over here. I'll come back over here. Okay, got to get this out. Tool of the week. Okay, we've got a sale on this. For a limited time. Let's see. Now through Friday, the um, the compound action. Oddly enough, I didn't really think about that until the boss said, "Hey, this is our promotion right now." This actually has become my go-to revolving punch. Now, for one big reason, I love the compound action. Now, those of us who have been working leather for a long time, we can punch 1,000 holes, never think about our arm. But if we're newer to leather, that can really wear out your arm punching a lot of holes. But what happens is because your arm's starting to get tired, you start missing your mark on your hole. So with the compound action, that's going to be a big help. But also, too, that kind of leads us into our theme. 15% off on this now through Friday. Great. Very good. Good tool. Funny thing, this is now my go-to. But we covered this recently in a I think it's Shop Tricks Part 4. You're trying to reset your tube. If you're getting a bad punch, resetting your tube. But that leads kind of into this. Great revolving punch. Absolutely love it. I've been using that for 3 years. Hasn't worn out. But what can happen is on your revolving punch, and can't cast stones here. I use 2 tubes. I use the second from the smallest for rivets and the largest for my screws and conchos. So therefore, those 2 tubes are going to wear out pretty quick. Well, the problem is, once those wear out, I can go to another tube size. But now I'm changing the whole thing up. And like on the top, if I go down to the second, concho or Chicago screw is not going to fit in that hole. So what I'm saying is, as you move along, as you get a little more experience, bump up to a revolving punch where you have replaceable tubes. Makes all the difference in the world. Now you can replace the tubes that you use commonly, and they're inexpensive. They're not terribly expensive. But also, that level of revolving punch, it's a forged handle. It's got some good weight. That, in turn, actually helps you punch a hole. Now, if you're new at punching, sometimes you're doing an 8 to 9, 9 to 10. It's hard to get through that. You really strain. Okay, the one thing, and I've seen this a couple of times, try to avoid this, is putting the revolving punch on your table and then hitting it with your mallet. Well, it works, but it's going to destroy your mallet, your table, and your revolving punch. So try this. When you punch, take your leather and twist as you punch. That's going to allow that to cut a little bit deeper. I think you'll be surprised. You'll be able to get a much cleaner punch with that. But also, if your punch is getting a little bit ragged, I got to punch some holes, I've ordered some tubes, they're not here yet. What you can do is put another piece of scrap leather under the piece of leather you're punching. So when it goes through your face leather, wow, it cuts a very clean hole. Makes it a little easier on your arm too. Now, I'm rolling on this one. Going to do my best not to forget where I was. Happens, Ryan. Yeah. On our anvil, I have seen in the past where you can buy a revolving punch with a replaceable anvil. That's nice. I haven't seen that lately though. So the point there is that our anvil can start to wear out. All told, once that's gone and it's not replaceable, well then your punch is gone as well. Not much we can do about that. But typically, our anvil is made with a softer metal, usually copper or brass, softer than the metal for our tubes. Therefore, it's not tearing up our tubes. But at the same time, we're starting to cut into that. But yeah, so I hope that's some good information. And a drive punch, if you're not familiar, is simply a drive. Well, the revolving is only going to go so deep, and that can be a problem. But when we jump over to our drive punch, if it works, if it's tough on your arm to get going, a drive is a great way to go. But the problem here is that now we need our marble, we need a punch surface, and we need our mallet. Well, that's okay. but now we can go any depth, and our Master Tools or our Osborne, they come in a bunch of different sizes. So if you're new to leather, a drive punch may be just the thing you're looking for. But again, the revolving, this is the center of every leather shop. So hopefully that'll help folks that are new, but also a little bit of information for those of us maybe didn't think about it. So anyway, 15% off on the compound punch. I love it. It's a great tool and it's going to last for you. Let's see. Okay, boss Leah just said, hey, we got a request for an autograph. Wow, unworthy. Feel that way, but thank you more than you know. We'll get those rolling. So hopefully I still have that picture. In fact, on that picture, it looks like I have gray sideburns. I look like Captain Walker. Yeah, Pocky clips, right? Okay, so we'll get that taken care of. Let's see. Tokenol. Okay, good. Thank you. I'll get one of these in. Let's give that a try on the bone glue. Chucky from Bind Rune. That works. Very cool. Thank you so much. Swaziland, Africa, Carol. Very cool. I hope you're enjoying the craft, and I'm honored that my tricks and my tips will help you out. Maybe save you a little frustration. You just replace those mistakes with new mistakes. That's all it does. But nonetheless, part of the learning curve. Very cool. Thank you so much. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Okay. Binderoon, Heathen Leather Works. What gauge of leather would you recommend for armor? Okay, you could go a bunch of different ways here. Weight is an issue. The suit I typically wear is 20 to 22 ounce for everything but the cuirass and the upper chows. Wow, is that hot and heavy. It is really heavy, but it's a cake of leather. So if somebody touches it and looks at it, that's the payoff there. Wow, this is really armor. Yes, it really is. But I tell you what, a full day of lugging that thing around at the Ren Fair, that's tough. And in Georgia, it is hot. And our Ren Fair typically is, we've actually moved it back to the fall. Looking forward to that. But it's typically April, May, and June. So getting into June, it's getting hot. Okay, rolling. Sorry, let me back up. A good middle weight for armor, it's got a good weight, but it's not too thin, is a saddle skirting. I would say 13 to 15 ounce. It's gonna form well, it's gonna bake well when you harden it, and it's gonna feel good. Part of this, and I'm off on a rant here, part of wearing a suit of armor is that you feel like you're wearing the suit of armor. If it's heavy, the thing is you walk like it's real. It's a whole thing. It's hard to explain, but you look like you wear it for a living. It's hard to explain, but if you've got some good weight to it, first off, when folks look at it and touch it and feel it, yeah, it's real. This isn't, just a costume piece. But at the same time, you look, walk, and react like you're wearing a suit of armor. That's your job. And if okay, this is funny. If you fall down, well, it happens. Sometimes liquor is involved. Not me. But what happens, it's a funny way to say that as your armor gets a little scuffed up, it sits in the trunk, it falls. What happens is it actually starts to look more authentic. Yeah, bright, shiny new, right off the showroom floor is beautiful, always. But as it gets a little wear, a little tear, little, turkey leg grease, and let's don't go to, the point is it really starts to look like you put this on every morning and go to work, and you start to look absolutely authentic. Okay, rant there. Wow, I'm still just trying to get back. I'm so sorry. We're going to come back to that question. You could go with maybe a 10 to 11 ounce. That's still got a little beef to it. It's going to form. It's going to bake well. But your weight, you're not lugging that weight around with you all day. When I get back to my truck at the end of that day, I am whipped. And I've always wanted to design a suit of armor where I simply press a button and stand in my armor bin, hit a button and the whole thing falls off and I walk off and get in the truck and the AC. Haven't come up with that particular design yet. But I will tell you this, it takes about 45 minutes to put the suit on. It takes about 4.5 minutes to get it off. So yeah, I would say if you're looking for more costume, go with maybe 10 to 11 ounce. If you're looking for something that's got a little meat to it, maybe a 13 to 15 ounce. If you really want to go all out, go 20, 22 ounce. In fact, I've got a piece of leather. I didn't know we'd go there. I have a 37 ounce piece of leather here. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know what you could do with that. But anyway, got one. So hopefully that will help. That will help. Okay, Vasant, do you vacuum form anything? Very good question. The vacuum sealer, the kitchen vacuum sealers. I haven't tried this, but I've heard from a lot of people that will vacuum seal their holsters, and it does a phenomenal job because it will very well draw that leather down. The only problem is that it won't dry if it stays in the vacuum seal. So we get a good mold, but what we need to do is maybe give it an hour in the vacuum seal, cut it open, pull it out, and let it air dry from there. That's the only problem. I've been wanting one of these for years. I just haven't picked one up. But yeah, give it a shot. If you by chance have one, give it a shot. Let us know what you come up with. Um, let's see why we've got another autograph request. I'm honored. I'm humbled. Humbled. Is that actually a word? Yeah, I do have a good vocabulary, and I don't appreciate what you're incinerating. That's okay. I know good comedy when I see it. That's not it. And I don't think that's going to go over well with those of us who are translating. Anyway, okay, so punching holes. We kind of got through that. Um, let's see. I've got some pretty good questions over here that I'm kind of set up for. Over here, not really set up, but I'll do my best where I can. Let's see. Uh, okay, we've got a lot of longer ones here that I hesitate to answer those only because it takes so long to read them. But I will if there are longer questions there. I hate to give you a week lag there, but I will answer those. I really will. Let's see. Daughter of the Wild, how does wood stain work on Veg Tan? It's okay. We did an experiment with this a couple of lives back. It's okay. It's okay. The color is a little washed out. Now the wood folks seem to love our leather dyes, and I've tried some on wood, and yeah, it was beautiful. But transferring back over, it works. It works, but it's the colors are a little washed out. Meh, a little bit, but don't hesitate to try it because the walnut that I used, it's a wood stain on one of the big names, actually looked pretty good. It really was more of a walnut. Now I did a top coat on that. It was somewhat okay outcome. Wasn't really happy with it, but nonetheless, don't hesitate to give it a try. So yeah, give that a shot. Um, let's see, Ryan. I baked a holster at 200 degrees for 20, 30 minutes, and my leather hasn't hardened. Why is that? I might have a couple more questions on that because I love the bake hardening. And I've always had great luck with it. I always bake harden natural and then dye. And I don't really have any trouble with that. But Ryan, I might need a little more information there. So we'll connect on that one. See if I can't help you out there. Um, let's see. Have you ever tried to bubble dye leather? Carmen, no, that's not familiar to me. I might need a little more information on that. Let's see. Okay, new to leather, Rochster's homesteading, doghouse, new to leather here. How does the leather weight work? Well, in the old days, 1 square foot, if it weighed 1 ounce, 1 square foot weighed, I think this is right. If it's not, it's pretty close. 1 square foot weighed 1 ounce. And I think I've got a fly, I think, in here. Big one too. And he's really irritating. 1 square foot, if it was thin enough to where it weighed 1 ounce, it was 1 ounce leather. So 10 ounce leather. If 1 square foot was thick enough to weigh 10 ounces, that was 10 ounce leather. It's not so anymore because now we have so many tannages. We've got a heavy wax, we've got heavy tallow. So that rule doesn't really apply much anymore. Now it can with our veg tans, with just our straight natural veg tans. But for the most part, now we've got so many different kinds of tannage and we've got all the waxes and oils and tallows. That's really going to affect that because it adds so much weight to the leather. But for the most part, 1/8 of an inch is 8 to 9 ounce. If you kind of work with that, a 1/16 of an inch is 4 to 5 ounce. So if you just when you're new, 8 to 9 ounce, that's your standard belt weight. You can make all kinds of projects with that. You bump down to about half of that, 4 to 5 ounce. That's a good pouch weight. It's going to mold well, and it's going to make your smaller, like card cases or smaller pouches. So if you start with those two weights, then you can kind of work out from there. Once you get the feel for those, you can fine tune your projects. maybe bump that down to a 7/8 or bump that 4-5. If it's a little too thin, maybe up to a 5/6 or a 6/7. So maybe start with those two places and work out from there. That seemed to work pretty well for me. Let's see. Okay, Thomas, what finish do I need to put over acrylic paint? I like the Saddlewack, but I'm probably going to quit suggesting it because a lot of folks are having a lot of trouble with it. I don't. The reason I like it on over acrylic, first off, is I don't have to buff. So therefore, my acrylic stays right where it is. But the second biggie is when I finish acrylic and leather, it gives it the same look. Sometimes I think with the leather balm, I've tried that over acrylic. So what happens is I actually have two textures, the paint and then the leather. So the paint seems to be a little bit more, I might say flat, where the leather has a little bit more of a gloss to it. So I like the Saddlewack. There's some tricks to it. The biggie is it can't be cold. We have to warm that bottle a little bit, and I don't want us to get sued. But yeah, if the bottle is a little bit above room temperature, then it's going to go on real well. It's going to atomize it. It's going to raise the pressure in that can a little bit. I can't tell you how to do that because the lawyers will find me and take away everything I have and get a new beach house. But anyway, so yeah, I've got some great lawyer jokes. Maybe we'll get into those. Anyway, but with the Saddlewack also two very light passes. Hold the bottle about 10 inches out, very light. Yeah, you might experiment with that a little bit. It's my favorite, but I might quit suggesting it just because so many people are having some trouble with it. Let's see. Micah Hunter. How would you recommend dyeing a large project like a vest or a jerkin? Man, I might have to get back to you, Micah, on that one. That's tough, simply because we want that dye to be consistent. Dip dyeing is my favorite way to go, but when you get up to a larger project, that becomes difficult. But the bigger problem there is that when you get down to your 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 ounce, those leathers are really going to hold that dye. And it's going to be a bit darker than, say, an 8 to 9 ounce. I don't know the technical reason for that. Hopefully somebody can email with the chemistry behind that. But for the most part, Micah, I don't have a good answer on that one. It might depend on the weight you're using. I'm assuming a 1 to 2, 2 to 3, maybe a 3 to 4. Man, I don't know on that one. That's not really one I can give you a solid answer on, and I apologize for that. Let's see. They'll put the bottle under your armpit. Walk around with your Saddlewack for 15 or 20. You know what? I would not put it past us leather crafters because the project is the outcome. Doesn't matter what it takes to get us there. So yeah, that's pretty funny. Let's see. Yeah, have you ever used reclaimed leather for garments? Absolutely. Oh yeah. You can go sofa hunting, and they're not hard to hunt because they don't dart. Yeah, you can take out a nice naga hide, no problem. No, but yes, absolutely reclaimed leather. And I'm a big fan of the secondhand stores because first off, you can get great patterns. Be careful on those so we don't, copyright. Well, A, you can get great patterns. B, you can get great ideas, but also the hardware. You can buy a belt for $3 that's probably got a $40 set, a buckle keeper and tip set. So yeah, that's a possibility. But reclaimed, absolutely. All kinds of great things you can do with that. Let me jump back over here. I've got a couple here. Jason says he's having trouble with bevels. Yeah, join the club. Let's see. It takes off too much leather. That's exactly right. Okay, with bevels. This is confusing, and it's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. Jason, look for your bevel not by number, but by size. So like every bevel comes in like a 0, 1, 2, 3. Some go from 1 to 6. Look for a 16th inch bevel. Let's see, I've got that. That's 1.588 millimeters. That's good for an 8 to 9, 9 to 10, maybe a 7 to 8. You can get down to maybe a 4 to 5, but maybe a 6 to 7. Yes, you've probably got something much higher. And some of these go into 7/64, and Oh, I don't do that kind of math. Look for a 1/16 inch. Go by size as opposed to number. Once you get that figured out, once you figure out how much that'll cut off, then you can back down for your lighter weights or bump up for your heavier weights. But yeah, go by size as opposed to just the standard number. That'll be a big help for you. But if you look for a 16th of an inch, that's going to be a good mid-grade bevel. I used that for years and years. So hopefully that'll help you. Um, Okay, Willis, I have trouble making keepers. Yeah, join the club. We're going to make a jacket, have a convention for those of us who hate or have trouble making keepers. I can help a little bit. So, first off, I keep a box just in my organizer. Keepers. Yeah, because I hate making these too. First off, we need to skive our keeper. If we're making a belt and we want a matching keeper, we have to hand skive this. And that is, you know what? It's just a headache. So what I typically will do is cut about a 36-inch piece of that leather, and I'll do my best to hand skive that the full length. What'll happen is you'll get multiple sections in there that are a good weight for a keeper. Just cut those out, toss those in your box. So next time you use that leather, you've got a keeper ready to go. Now, the easy side of this is making Veg Tan Keepers. So what I've got, and this is in one of our shop tricks, I think. I need to pull this out and put this in a new shop trick. So this is, I believe, 1/2-inch plywood. So all I've done is cut out a 1 inch, 1.5, put a point on that, sanded that down. So what I can do is I can just make maybe a dozen keepers for maybe say 1.5 inch. Knock those together with a rivet, wet those, and then I can slide those on my board. So therefore, that's going to melt. That's going to melt. It's going to dry into a nice square keeper. So therefore, I can take one, use it, toss the balance of those in my keeper box. Every time I've got a Veg Tan belt, I can simply pull one out and dye it with the belt. Because yes, I hate making keepers too. And I always get to ready to dye and think, oh man, I got to make a keeper now. This will at least help a little bit. But also, you can make these out of leather. In fact, I think that's a 1.25 inch. This is some pretty thick leather. I think this is like probably an 18 to 20 ounce. You don't have to have that. You can simply glue multiple 8 to 9s together, maybe 3 8 to 9s or 4 or 5 7 to 8s. So therefore, you can make a mold for your keepers. You don't have to pull out the jigsaw and cut into some plywood. So see if that helps on making keepers. Yes, join the club. They kind of are, a second thought, but maybe that'll help you out. I hope so. All right, so let's see. Yeah, okay, Wes, gee, what kind of glue do you recommend for people in California who can't get the pro dyes? Or what kind of dye do you use? We're on that. I've tried our fibings and it's not bad. It's a water basis to the leather colors. It's not bad. It's not my pro. And I feel for y'all. I've actually talked to some people that will get a friend in Nevada to order it, and they'll drive over to Nevada, spend a weekend, and then bring their contact cement, top coats, and glues back. We've got a new set of water-based dyes coming in. I don't know where we are on this, but here's the big point. We're trying hard to help y'all out. So we've got another set coming in. It's a water-based. Let's see how that works for you. So sorry we're not getting that done faster, but the whole thing's in the works. I should have some samples here in the near future. We'll try those out, and I'll give you an honest across-the-board report, tell you what I think about those. Leftover beans. Awesome advice. I hate keepers. Yeah, like I said, we'll have a club, jacket, convention, hats. We'll get coffee cups. I hate keepers. Yeah, we'll get there, but I hope that'll help a little bit. Let's see, KS. From Iran, follow every tutorial clip. Useful. The tools don't access here. You know what? I feel for you. Yes, that's an issue, and I hate that for you. On the good side is that when I started out, I literally used whatever I could find. Actually, that's why I use a box cutter and not a round head or a head knife, is because I had a plastic ruler, my box cutter, and I probably some plywood to cut on. And you know what? Oddly enough, though, you can really do some beautiful work. I feel for you there, but I hope you have a great time with it, and I hope you do find some tools there that are useful to you. I really do that. But thank you for sending in a comment. Um, let's see, Max Wright, bless your heart. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that's a big help. This is a payoff. It really is. I'm employed by Weaver, get a paycheck, benefits, and all that. And paycheck always good, but a real payoff is comments like these, or seeing somebody at a show that comes up and shows me a project. I made this, I got started on. Let me tell you, that's a payoff that's not, no money can equal that payoff. So thank you for those. And I say thank you a lot here. Genuine. I absolutely. Um, let's see, what types of leather projects were inspirational to you when you got started? Um, Kyle, yeah, the period stuff. I just in college I think it was my fraternity. We either volunteered at the prison rodeo in Huntsville, and we worked at these are fading fast. 57, yeah. Um, the armor related stuff, because I we worked at the Ren Fair, couldn't afford. We were college kids, couldn't afford these costumes, so we had to make things. So probably right off the belts and wristbands and pouches. That's probably where I got started. Um, I can't imagine I still have something from those days left in my shop, but it would surprise me if I did. But yeah, also too, a little advice on that. Look for something that you want. Some that you want, maybe can afford or maybe can't, but that'll give you the motivation to step in to make that. Excuse me, good Lord, lunch and coffee. Make that step. That'll give you some motivation. That's something you want to make, something you want to wear and use day to day, or costume, or camping, riding the dirt bikes. I had all kinds. I rode a Husqvarna on 350. Had all kinds of little pouches all over my bike with tools and duct tape and anything that I might need, when I'm out in the woods for a breakdown. But yeah, if you think of something you really want, boy, that'll give you some good motivation to get started. And I bet $10 you're going to be happy with your project. Um, let's see. Chris Lee, hello from the UK, my friend. Hello, right back, my friend. Very cool. Thank you for the comment. Um, let's see. Leftover Beans, how long you been working on leather? Since college. I'm not even going to date that. So I graduated college in 86. So yeah, we'll get out a calculator. Um, fell out of it because I went to Turner Broadcasting. I went straight from school into the mailroom at Turner. My degree is in broadcast production, and worked in broadcasting for a little while. I was the airborne anchor here in Atlanta, 87 and 88, I think. And I figured out how much broadcasting pays. I want to live indoors and be able to eat. So a friend of mine worked at a sword company here, Museum Replicas, east of Atlanta. He said, hey, they're having a hard time getting leather products in. So it was a hobby, so I kind of dove back in, and they gave me a purchase order. I went out there and talked to him, gave me a $1,300 purchase order, and I look back at the products that I made. Oh, they were awful. Anyway, I delivered that project, and they gave me another, or that PO, and they gave me another $1,300 PO. So I started doing it part-time. Year or two later, I jumped over to my own business, the Dorsett House, and I was there for about 13 years. And November 2008, things took a dive. So right after that, I started working for a company, rhymes with candy. Okay, I was there. I was a store manager there for almost 7 years, I think. Took that little awful store from, I think, number 28 to number 2, and we were on our way to number 1 when I left and joined Weaver. And you know what? I've been happy with Weaver ever since. Great company and good people and good product and very, very genuine folks. It's very happy with Weaver. So, yeah, let's see if Dragon Con manages to happen this year. I usually do panels. I'm usually on a couple of the panels. They're saying it's on. No parade, and that's the biggest parade I've ever seen. The coolest, I mean, the Legion. There's like 300 of these guys, and cars from the Mad Max movies. You would not believe the stuff in the parade. The vendor hall, I think, is now 4 floors. Anything you have ever wanted to buy in the sci-fi or fantasy, Oh, they have booths and booths of pictures that the actors have signed. Got my friend a Star Trek communicator. He keeps it in his truck, and oh, I've got a shirt. It's got the drawing for the rabbit from Holy Grail. Yeah, should be pointy teeth. Wheels should be round. Man, okay. I'm gonna yes. I think I'll be at DragonCon this year. I haven't heard from Lee yet, but right about now is when I'll start hearing. So should be there. Not sure yet, but thank you for asking. I think DragonCon is on this year. Um, let's see. Okay, boy, we've got some bigger questions here. Let's see. Okay, how do you remove mold, Dan, how do you remove mold and mildew stains from reclaimed leather? I would say alcohol. That seems to work best. It's going to dry the leather out a little bit, but really, all told, it doesn't seem to be that big of an issue. But if you take like any of the alcohols, I keep ethyl alcohol in my shop, and it's there with the rubbing and the denatured. I just keep that in my shop because somewhere along the way, and I don't think the bottles have this anymore, but somewhere along the way, I think on one of the Pro Dye bottles, it said that the ethyl alcohol is the carrier there. So I've just used it all along. A lot of folks say denatured alcohol is better. Really, though, what you're trying to do is you're just trying to kill that mold off, and it's common. But with a little alcohol, that's going to sink in, that's going to wick in, and it's going to get that mold all the way through the leather. So once you knock it out, you should be fine. If the mold is really bad, what it'll do is it'll start to press out the top grain. Once that happens, there's not much you can do with it. But try a little alcohol, and if you want to, I would say deglaze. If by chance it's got a top coat, probably does if it's a chrome, maybe deglaze that. Deglaze, take care of your mold, and then re-top coat. I think you'll be surprised with the outcome. We just did a video on using deglazer. We can really bring a project back from almost dead to relatively new. Now, I wouldn't say, full on, but nonetheless, you can re-dye as well. Now, I would always say go with a darker dye than go with the same or darker. You can't lighten re-dyeing, but if you go with the same, that's going to darken a little bit, but then re-top coat that, you might be surprised at the outcome. But if it's a chrome, probably no reason to re-dye. Just strip that top coat, knock out that mold, and re-top coat. Think you'll have a really pretty piece of leather. But give that a try. Let us know how that goes. I'd like to see if hopefully if that's good information for you. 347 again. It feels like we've been talking for 5 minutes. My biggest wish is that we could all gather in one big room and just enjoy each other's company and tricks and tips and projects. We can't do that. It's not possible. But two, we'll work on doing some more shows. Everything got out of whack this year. We were on to do the show, Rocky Mountain show up in Sheridan, Wyoming, DragonCon, Blade Show, our auction. The auction got pushed back to December, and that's a spectacle too. But everything got kind of out of whack this year. So as this progresses and we get past this, our show schedule will bump up a little bit, and I'll be at most of those shows. And that would give me a great chance to, at least in the area, get a chance to say hello face to face. That's cool. Maybe go eat a bite of lunch, or maybe get together, a group of us, go eat a bite of dinner. That we're back to food again. Okay. I want what? This time of day, I must be starting to think about dinner. Did you say dinner? Yeah. So we'll get some more shows going. Give me a chance to meet everybody, because that, to me, that's the best part of this. Getting to hang with other people. We're kind of disconnected. We work in our shop, and we might have a friend or two. Even that's kind of rare. So we don't really get to, kibitz amongst ourselves with leather people. But a little bit of help there is the leather guilds. Most states, and I think countries, have a leather guild. That's a great way to get together with some folks. And each week they'll have a meeting, or maybe once a month, and they'll like this, do a theme, and maybe do some samples and little groups, to discuss. But they're always fun. They always have cakes, cookies. We're back here again. Anyway, so looks like we've got most. I could go back through all of this, and we could talk. We could talk for hours. And you know what? Thank you for saying, looking forward to this hour every week. That makes my day. I'm going to try to get back through some of these. Um, let's see. Try to so I don't take so much time on these. Um, let's see. You know what? I'm going to step away from this. I'm going to go back over all of these. I will read every comment, and if there are questions in there, what I'll do is next week we'll start off like we did this week, answering some of those questions, and also our homework. I've got some homework to work on. Bone glue. I apologize. I'm going to be on that for you. Absolutely. Um, let's see. I live on an island. Bob Kidder. I live on an island in Southeast Alaska. Bob, no guilt, but I bet it is spectacularly beautiful. I'd just love to come visit you. You know what? That would, oh man. Let's see. Oh, Puria, love and respect from Iran. Love and respect right back to you. Bless you, absolutely. Um, let's see. I just got home, but your lives are always great to catch. Vanessa Kitty, thank you very much. In fact, Kitty, that reminds me, we have a new addition. I have a new addition to the shop. A cat, a little kitten, came out of nowhere. Don't know where she came from. Um, I was gonna have it's a him. I was gonna have him down here so I could pick him up and say, "Hey, let's name the kitty." Um, but my ankles already have suffered badly, so it'd be hard to concentrate on this. And a cat, a new kitten. He's cute as we can be, so we're trying to name him. My wife's hers is Bruce. Bruce, for a cat. But Bruce Wayne, because he is Batman, he is just black as coal. I'm going with Catmandu or Cat King Cole, Coal. So, you know what? If you've got some cool cat names, it's a he, and he is jet black. So, if you've got some good cat names, put those in here. Maybe next week I'll work up the nerve to get him on the live because I'm here by myself. So, I can't hand him to somebody, and man, he's going to go straight for my ankles, and it's gonna be hard to concentrate. Um, Wales, Steve, hey from Wales. Oh, I bet it's beautiful there too. There are so many beautiful places I want to visit. You know what? If by chance I get there, we'll go out and we'll have us a good cold beer and a good meal. How about that? And that goes for everybody. If I'm able to get there, we'll meet. We'll get a chance to sit down and talk. I would love that. Let's see. Yellow Claim and Coal. Yeah, that's good. Just comes to mind, doesn't it? Um, Name him Steve because it's damn hilarious. I say, hey, Steve. I know it's Steve, Kevin, Bruce. There's some funny cat names. My wife, we have a horse, and at the barn, they have a peacock named Kevin, which is I laugh every time I think about that. Catty McCatface, of course. Yeah, goes without saying. A tonic, catatonic. That's a good one. Oh, y'all these are great. Steve, it's a date. Promise on that one. Chris Lee, if you're ever around Cornwall, there's always a place at our table. That means more than you know. It absolutely does. I would love to see Cornwall, Scotland, Ireland, England. I'm Scottish, Buchanan and Gibson, married into Dorsett. Ah, man, love to see the homeland, but you know what? That's a deal. Cornwall. Would love to eat a bite with you and have some good conversation. Um, let's see. Up reference. Let's see. I might have missed that one. There's always got to be one, Kevin. Howling Mad. That's exactly right. To Bartholomew Bart. That's a good one. Oh, you just made the job harder now. So we'll pick one of these, and next we got to name the little guy. He's been with us a week and a half. But he doesn't care. He doesn't know his name or not. So, but he is a cute little thing. But I'll work up the courage to get him next week, and I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But y'all are gonna put the eyes back on. Yeah, so that would call her Kitty Kitty. That's pretty good. Yeah, Chris, awesome. Absolutely right back to you. Gibby's wife, thank you for taking the time. Cat Stevens, my wife, came up with that one. Absolutely. I mean, come on. That goes without saying. But y'all, I'm going to cut it here because we could do this. I could talk for another hour, but it's between us. it could be so much better, and it will be. I hope to get to meet everybody, and that would be something I would live for. So, y'all, I hope you have a great second half of your week. We're over the hump now. Got a weekend on the way. It's summer. Yay, y'all. Thank you. And you know what? I don't want to say goodbye. I don't want to say goodbye because I want to answer every one of these. Bob, love you, brother. Right back. I would love to see where you live and come up and get to meet you. Lithiel, I hope I'm saying that right. I hope, to me, it's so very rude to mispronounce. Vanessa Kitty. Thanks. Michael Cave, no, thank you. Leftover beans, bless your heart. Ryan, ankle protectors. Good call. I'm going to need those for the next 6 to 9 months with this little guy about. Y'all, stay safe, Matt. I'm Howling Matt. Murdoch, God bless right back to you. Everybody stay safe. Have a great week. Pull up a project. I'll do the same. Let's make something. We'll come back together next week. I'm absolutely going to look forward to it. Y'all, thank you so much for making this what it is. God bless. Have a great week, and we will see you again next week. I will look forward to that. Thanks for everything, y'all. And bye.